Well, a very good evening and welcome to this live broadcast. Now, tonight we donate the second hour of News Hour to the Senate that will be concluding the impeachment process of the third governor of the county of Meru, Bishop Kawira Mwangaza, in about 2 hours. Stick around for the live proceedings currently still going on in the Senate. At KTN News, the hashtag as always for the show is News Hour. Damian Evans is with us on sign language. Let's get the show tonight on an honest note. We begin with our top story. And tonight we take you all the way to Parliament and we are live from the Senate. The trial is done. The parties are now doing their final submissions. The lead counsel for the Meru County Assembly, Muthomi Tiankulu, has just concluded his final submissions, largely urging the Senate to see through Kawira Mwangaza's demeanor and send her home if the county of Meru is to move on. He told the senators who kept quiet for the entire hour that Kawira will do it again if given another chance, alluding to the 7 counts that I'll be telling you shortly that are before the Senate and were denied by Kawira, who pleaded not guilty to all the charges. It's now Kawira's turn to do the final submission. Lawyer Elisha Ongoya is on the floor. Let's cross over now to the floor of the Senate.
You cannot do it when you're on that side. You must be on the side where the members are. I was wondering, Mr. Speaker, sir, how was Mr. Mutuma possibly supposed to get to the side where the members are? Was he supposed to organize a mini election in Meru County, become elected as senator for the temporary purpose of participating in these proceedings? I don't know. I am a career learner, and I learn every day. It is only allowed for honorable members. We are being told only honorable members are allowed to table evidence. You are not allowed to table evidence. We are going to make a reference to the Hansard systems because everything that you talk is being captured. You can proceed as the Speaker. The Speaker, we don't begrudge him. He had power to make a ruling. Mr. Speaker, just as you have power to make rulings here. Did he use that power correctly? That is the question I pose to the conscience of the men and women bestowed with the arduous responsibility of protecting devolved governance in this country, sitting in this house as distinguished senators. The conversation continues with Elias Mutuma, advocate for the governor, making an argument. My understanding, therefore, is that we will not lay the evidence that we have. The Speaker answers him, how will you table it, Mr. Mutuma? Mutuma is asking him, you are the presiding officer in this house. Guide me on how to table. Mr. Mutuma is being challenged. How will you do it? You are not an MCA. That is why MCAs enter through the main door and you entered through the back door. This was no longer differentiation. This was apartheid. Discrimination on the basis of the door you entered through. Whoever entered through the main door had a chance to table evidence. Whoever entered through any other door was denied a right to table evidence. Mr. Mutuma, exercising the persistence of a lawyer that we teach in law schools, continues. My hope is now pleading hope. My hope is that you will guide me on how we will lay the evidence that we have, because I'm a stranger in this house. The Speaker answers him, we are going to rely on the Hansard system. As you talk, be aware that you are giving your evidence. He says, in desperation, well-guided, a very well-trained lawyer. Whether you agree or disagree with the judge, you say most obliged, well-guided. May we then have a ruling before we proceed? Mr. Speaker, sir, distinguished senators, believe me or not, it is this assembly that has come here to ask you, why didn't they table their evidence before the assembly? We may agree or disagree with the governor on many things. We owe her a moral duty to be fair to her. The governor has been unfairly treated by the County Assembly of Meru, as demonstrated by the County Assembly's own records. And that is why we are here. You've been told in cross-examination, there are other women out there, Embu, Homa Bay, Nakuru, Kirinyaga. Are they also facing discrimination? Don't throw the gender card here. That's what the governor has been told in your hearing. Mr. Speaker, sir, distinguished senators, those things were said to the person you saw with your own eyes and felt with all your other senses, including the sense of hearing, being told what was going to be done to her by the Kibiri. Those things, those questions. One day, I will teach about the moral obligation of counsel in cross-examination, particularly when particular evidence is now available. Will this Senate, in good conscience, completely overlook the evidence of Honorable Mpuri Aburi in the presence of the Senator for Meru County, in the presence of the Deputy Governor of Meru County, in the presence of Honorable Mugambi Muridhania Rindikiri, demonstrating what they did with their hands holding the Kibiri against the governor? Shall we ignore that and say she's simply throwing a gender card? Shall we ignore the overwhelming evidence of the deputy governor chanting with youth in Meru, saying how the governor is a prostitute? Isn't that the locus classicus of a sexist remark? Will this Honorable Senate ignore the video clip that was played regarding that purported tree planting event at which no single seedling was seen being planted, but in which clear sexist remarks were made against the governor of Meru County? Mr. Speaker, sir, distinguished senators, before you is a fellow citizen, sinned in the matter you have experienced with your own senses and presence, being brought to trial before you. Allow me now to proceed and highlight the contradictions in the case of the County Assembly. Distinguished senators, when you retire in your private sessions, have these conversations among yourselves. Ask yourself this question, number one. The governor before you faces a charge of usurping the roles of other agencies in the county, doing the work of other functionaries in the county. Same governor then faces other charges that requires her to take responsibility for the acts and omissions of other functionaries in the county. How will you, distinguished senators, reconcile your sense of logic to that case? When you retire in your private chamber, distinguished senators, reconcile this for me kindly, because I'm a career learner. The governor is accused of making payments to county employees who are named 4 in number. Those county employees, one of them steps here and says he is complaining that he was paid. He told you that yesterday. Then you will be confronted with evidence that he is the one who went to court to obtain an order to compel the county government to pay him. That person who is complaining. I've been struggling whether I'm as law learner, good people. But I want you, in good conscience, to tell me, if you sat in the shoes of this governor, how will you learn a lesson from that? Because this governor is a human being. She's not a perfect person. She can make mistakes.
All right, the whole exercise at the Senate will be ending.